Энэ хүрээ биш юм уу? Энэ хоёрыг ямар заалтад онцгой анхаарал гэж тэрийг яах вэ? Одоо онцгой анхаарал татчих байна гэж тэгээд дараагийн зүйлээ дараагийн хавцлыг шийдэл одоо энэ
This time I don't have to finish. Yeah, sure. My wife is there. I just went back.
Okay, so first question is what provisions or articles is more you have a more strong feeling, in this new draft law, and what is your recommendation how we solve it? It's a kind of, is there any strong article that you think would be problematic? Then how your recommendation how we can solve this problem, and how these discrepancies on the different laws can impact this safety of the products and services.
Okay.
Is it clear?
Yeah, it's clear. Shall I start?
Yes.
So yeah, during my this 15 days mission, my task was actually to ad hoc revise the MASAM law on standardization and conformity assessment. So my first impression is to maybe to put a little more attention to definitions. I mean to have a very maybe ISO definition of standards, this general definition. Then actually to properly define intellectual property of standards. Another bigger issue is actually safety of products. So because so far it was not possible to decide whether the product safety regulation in Mongolia is in place or not. So there are some provisions related to inspection as well in the conformity assessment and standardization law, which, okay, they are not wrong, but if they're already inside, it's better to be, more in detail described. Then I would focus on the second or third article, the aim of the law. It also try to make a little more clear it's not wrong, but to avoid any legal uncertainty. So there was during revision, but I haven't done very detailed revision because this will take really a lot of time. But I will continue with my revision. So I will try to avoid some sort of not discrepancies, but conflicts. In some cases, it was written that, for example, standards are not part of intellectual property. In another articles later on, it was written they are. So it's true that this was actually correct, but again, it's good to cover maybe some areas with another legislation. I don't know if you have in Mongolia, but I believe that you have some sort of law which is related to intellectual property. So it's good that to cover these provisions with this law, so that you don't put provision which belong to another legislation to, for example, to the standards law, and make the law as much as possible simple for for the users, because it's not difficult to understand the law from the side of those who actually drafted the law, but it's important that also those who are laymen, of course, who are not the designers of the law, that they will understand and properly use the law. So far, I don't have any other, proposal. But yeah, if you have some questions, so please ask me, and I'm happy to help, so to answer.
You finished with 3 questions, yeah?
Yes, yeah.
So what Mongolia can learn from this EU standardization structures?
Standardization, how?
What Mongolia can learn
Yeah?
from the EU on best practices in standardization sector?
What Mongolia can learn from EU?
Standardization sector.
Okay. In Europe, the standardization sector is well developed. So during the panel discussion, I already mentioned that everything is like a pyramid structure. So at the top of the pyramid, there are technical regulations. So this is actually mandatory requirements for the safety. Technical regulations are written very flexible. So they are just contain the essential health and safety requirements, and then it's up to manufacturers how to achieve these requirements, and the standards are used as some sort of a guidance to help the manufacturers to follow those requirements, but the manufacturers has the right to achieve these requirements in different way, but they must prove these requirements via other, with other technical specifications which are listed in the technical file of particular product. It's much easier to achieve these requirements with the usage of standards, and that is the reason also why the standards belong to intellectual property, since some technical solutions are already written in those standards. So, and the last but not least, it's necessary to mention that European harmonized standards, they are enforced when they are published in the European official journal. So for each sector, the standards are listed. This harmonized standard, for example, for electric equipment, or for machinery, or for the personal protective equipment, they are listed in official standards for particular technical regulation.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
That's all.
Anything else?